for those out there that think that it's lunacy to be able to talk to horses. I know I can. It's not that I think, I know I can.
Princess Zoe, she's trying hard on the near side. She is starting to rally.
And I have a connection with her that she knows what I want.
She's probably a freak as well.
Princess Zoe went home to beat Elquin.
She's just one of the rare ones.
Lovely to be out here with the star mare herself. She's looking a picture. She's in great health, I'd say, at the moment, is she?
I think she's phenomenal at the moment, and we're definitely confident that she's as good as she was for the Ascot Gold Cup, and maybe, I think, maybe a little better. I can't believe at her age she still appears to be improving and loves her game. Now, you see, in Ascot we thought it was going to rain, and we were kept promised all morning that it was going to rain during the day, and you know, I think it was good to firm, and while she gave a brilliant performance on it, I don't know if her conformation would allow that again. I didn't really enjoy Ascot because I was so nervous about the ground, and even after she was second and we came in, and it was exciting to be second, I was so worried about how she was going to be the next morning, and due to the restrictions, you know, with the COVID and that, I actually decided to drive the lorry that day myself. I drove to Ascot because I said, I just don't want to go to the airport with all this going on. And I'm glad I did it, because I learned more about the mare travelling her, I think, than I did in a year's training her. I learned about her habits and what she likes and what she doesn't, and I'm glad I did it.
Does that attention to detail, is that stuff you picked up from your father? I remember hearing the story about him travelling with the mare, or the filly that went up, went up and won the Oaks, and he went up, and he wasn't a young man at the time, was he? He went up with her.
He was 85, and when she was working in the Curragh the week before her final workout, he stood in the horse box with her the whole way up to the Curragh and the whole way home. Of course, my mother went mad when she heard it, but he stood at her head the whole way up and the whole way home. And I remember talking to him the next day, and while he was a man of few words, he was very confident going to the Oaks that day. He knew he had everything right, and if she was ever going to do it, he knew he had her spot on that day. And it's just huge for him to win a classic at 85 years of age.
We mentioned about your dad, obviously, and growing up at Mullins and the whole dynasty and everything. Did you ever feel a bit of pressure about that? Does it add its own sort of, like, obviously there's benefits, but are there areas where you feel more pressure because of it?
Yeah. I mean, we've been in the game all our lives, and all the family are earning a living at horses. So we think a lot about our reputation, I suppose, at this time. It's in the back of your mind that you upkeep the standards of racing, you know.
You obviously have a massive love for horses and for animals and a trust of them. I was watching you there, you were just chatting away, and as soon as when we were interviewing Princess Zoe, you just said to Princess Zoe, right, you can go off, and she just wanders off.
Yeah.
Literally like talking to horses, and in terms of them being able to understand what you mean.
Yeah, well, people that don't understand horses believe that you can't, and I've no doubt you can. It was many years ago, Willie rang me one day when he was actually working in Jim Bulger's up in Dublin, and he rang me and he said, there's a man called Monty Roberts coming over and you should come and see it. So I went to the show with Willie, and it completely changed my attitude to horses for life. That was the defining 30 minutes of my life, or hour, that show went on. And all the things that I thought I understood, that I knew about horses, but I couldn't piece all the bits together. That hour with Monty Roberts taught me so much of how to contact and have horses understand you and you understand them. It was an amazing hour that I will never forget.
When we got her first, and I came down to look at her, I said to Tony, in the name of Jesus, where are you going with that joke? You know what I mean? Look at her leg, you know what I mean? He kept saying to me during the lockdown that, don't worry, get your money ready for this one, like, you know. And he had her ready before the lockdown came.
Yeah.
He had her ready to go, and he said, this one will win. So eventually we got to Navan, and what happened in Navan is history, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about it, really, you know.
And then amazingly, she got beat first time in Navan. But I think that, you know, Shane Foley only got the ride at the last minute, didn't quite understand. She's not the nicest to ride down to the start. You think she's not, you know, moving right. But when she loosens out, she's a machine. And unfortunately, he got it wrong. It cost Paddy a lot of money that day. But anyway, I think if he ever got a chance on her again, he wouldn't make that mistake.
She's probably a freak as well. Like, you know, she ran away with the Ladies' Derby in the Curragh, and then she went to Galway and she won twice there. And then she went back to Galway and she won there.
And the man that found her, Bernard Cullinan, said to me after she won twice at the festival in Galway, he said, this one is good enough to win a Cadran. And I didn't fully agree with him, but you know, I said we'll step her up to listed at the September meeting in Galway.
Yeah.
And I knew after she won that and came home a couple of days after, and I thought she was better again. I said, maybe he's right, we'll have a go at this. And then in the last 5-6 days before she left here for the Cadran, she did some work that, you know, the likes of Willie or Aidan O'Brien of those are used to seeing it, but I got weak at the knees here when she worked, and I knew we were in serious line, you know, to become really competitive in a Group 1. I just couldn't. I'll never forget the feeling walking back down from the gallop that day. It was like, you know, in my mind I had it won. Then 3 furlongs to run in the race. I thought, you know, she's going to win, and the boys were going, shut up, she's not there yet. And I said, no problem, lad, she's going to win. And then a furlong down, I said, my God, she's not going to get there. And the surge of excitement when she, you know, hit the front with about 20 yards to run, I'll never forget that 5 seconds.
Princess Zoe the outside, she moved up, she grabbed the lead, she outstayed him.
That was unbelievable. I was watching the race on the big screen, if you're ever at the art meeting, and they just showed her, but they didn't show her the winning post. Like, there's 2 winning posts in Paris.
Yes.
And a lot of jockeys have mistook. And I said to Joy, there's 2 effing winning posts here now. Just make sure that it's the right one. And next thing, I could hear the lads shouting up above on the roof. But we couldn't see her. And the first time that we see her was, she went by the post about that much in front. You know?
Amazing.
That was enough.
I'd say that was a quiet night, you know.
Oh, it was. Look, we went into a couple of pubs in Paris. We have our own pub over there, Bugsy's.
Yes.
And that's where we'll be headquartered now. And we've every room booked out there for some lads are actually going over on Wednesday and Thursday. You know.
They'll be in some state by Sunday.
I'm only going over on Friday. I'm able to drink as much as I used to.
Her attitude, and like as you can see there, you know, she's standing for the camera. She just loves her game, and she knows she's here as an athlete. And even though she looks quite placid there now, when she gets out, she's very businesslike about her work. And you know, you just get one of these one in a lifetime. I was lucky now. I think I have a second one because being involved with Dawn Run all those years ago, same attitude, just so professional when they're out training. She does everything you ask her. She's just a dream. You know, we have so many horses here that have potential, and when we go get hard on them, they're not able for it. And this one just loves it. Give me more is all she says every time. Her work now is definitely better than when she won the Group 1 last year. So,
and what's been the secret to the success, do you think? Is it down to the trainer?
Of course it is.
And how much would it mean to get her back at this one and win another Cadran?
Well, all I can say is I'm very confident that she will. Trushan, I suppose, is the biggest danger. There's a couple of French horses. There's a horse called Big Five, has never been beaten, but he's stepping up. Now, all the horses, including Trushan, have never gone past 2 miles. So that extra half mile, we know we can do it. They have to prove they can do it. Now, if they do, they're going to be very competitive with her. But I can tell you, as all the top jockeys and trainers over the years will tell you, there's some difference between 2 miles and 2.5. And we know she won't be wanting for the last 4 furlongs. She's a very rare mare, and I hope to prove it several times in the future.
Because I think we're the best in the world. And we're not. We've already finished in front of Stradivarius. Spanish Mission to finish behind us is now favoured for the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
You know, so Trushan, I backed him in the Northumberland plate. I won't give him a second chance, so I'm not worrying about him either.
All these, the top stayers in the world.
Yeah.
And we intend to have another crack at them and show that none of our runs were a fluke. We believe it's like the lad with the wheelbarrow, it's all in front of her. The big days.